Hello, everyone. It's Ife here. I just wanted to come on real quick before we get into the podcast and give a bit of a trigger warning because in this episode, we do talk about depression and suicidal ideation and suicide and things of that nature. So if you are in a place right now where that conversation is not something that you want to listen to or doesn't feel right for your spirit or your mental health, I advise you to listen to this episode a different time and just remember to take care of what is best for you and your needs and your mind and your body and your spirit. And let's get into the episode. Peace.
Welcome to Sis Say That podcast.
The unfiltered guide to growing, glowing, and sometimes just getting by.
I'm Shay.
And I'm Ife.
And this is the space where healing and realness meets.
Because sisterhood deserves to be louder.
Oh my goodness. Welcome, Sissy. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
All right. It's time for Sis Check on Your Strong Friend. And friend, how are you doing? I know that's a loaded question.
Yeah, it is. I feel like it's such a hard question to answer. But I just, taking inventory on my body. My body is feeling very tired and worn out. My mind is feeling a little scattered. But I am also feeling a bit of optimism today around career and employment and things. So that's good. Getting money. But yeah, I feel very dysregulated in my mind, body, and spirit. So yeah. What about you?
I'm hanging in there. This weather change it came so quickly. Like October apparently had somewhere to be because October got up and left real quick. And this coldness is not jiving with my spirit. I am a summer baby. I love sun. And now that it's getting darker at like now and 4, which is to come, it makes me sad. Like we were under a freeze warning this morning, and I'm just like, I don't like any of this coldness because I know what's to come. Doesn't make me excited. But
Yeah.
I'm just pushing through. Work has been very worky. Everybody's trying to get in because it's now like the end of the year. So everybody's trying to be seen and use up everything on insurance side of things. Very busy at work. But I'm getting through.
Making it.
Yes.
Well, I feel like it is time to relax, relate, and release, and just take a moment to breathe and center ourselves and be here in this moment, release everything else, even if it's just for a couple of moments. And so I invite you to find a comfortable place to be in your space. You can place one hand on your heart and one hand on your stomach. And if it feels safe, or if you're in a place where you can do this, you can close your eyes, or you can just focus on something that is in front of you. And I invite you to take a moment to check in with how you are feeling in this moment. How you are really feeling, right? Not the prescribed answers that we give, the masks, the performative ones. How are you actually feeling in this moment? And try and just observe that feeling without judging it, without criticizing it, without trying to change it. Just simply acknowledging that this is how I am feeling in this moment. When you're ready, take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. We're going to repeat an affirmation. So you're going to take a deep breath in And when you breathe out, you can say this out loud or in your mind. I can choose to do things differently. Let's breathe in again. Deep breath in. Breathing out with the affirmation, I can choose to do things differently. And take a moment to notice how that affirmation feels in your body. And then take one more deep breath in. Breathe it out. And you can open your eyes and return your focus into the room. And this affirmation also comes from the Rest deck by Alex. Sorry, not the Rest deck. It's Alex L's deck. Sorry, my brain clearly needs rest. It's Alex L's How We Heal deck. We had an affirmation from there last time. And on the back of the card, it reads, sometimes we lose control because we feel we don't have a choice in the matter. We just follow the same course we always have. I challenge you to choose something different every day, even if it's a small but intentional choice. Try saying no to something you normally would say yes to. Shifting your morning routine, changing the tone of a conversation. See how it feels to actively choose. It takes practice to do things differently. And again, that affirmation is, I can choose to do things differently. So choose to do something differently today, this week, this month, and see how you feel.
Yes. I love that. That affirmation, it's something that I needed to hear because I've been trying to actively make different choices because I am a very big people pleaser. But I've definitely been loving the option and the choices of saying no to things I simply just don't want to do because I don't want to do them, even if it hurts other people's feelings. But got to put me first. So choosing something differently, it brings out a vibe for me. I don't necessarily know what kind of vibe I'm feeling, but I can relate to it in this moment.
Yeah, I feel that. And I think sometimes I notice for myself when I get stuck in cycles of the same thought patterns or the same shit happening, the same outcomes, it's empowering to remind yourself that in most cases, you can choose to do something differently. Like, I don't have to keep making this choice. I don't have to keep doing this thing. I don't have to keep doing this, right? I have autonomy over my mind and body. I have that privilege and I can choose to do something differently.
And I think for me, because I live in a state of fear a lot of the times, and I feel you're definitely one of the people in my corners and my lives is always telling me, like, you don't have to. You can choose something different. Like, you can change your life. Like, you can change the patterns. But for somebody who lives in fear for most of my life, it's fearful to try to make the change. But I've been actively doing so. Progress. It's all progress.
And it takes time because, if it took 35 years to do one thing, it's
Yep.
time to
Got
unlearn
to
it. Yeah.
make those changes in the brain. Yes,
Mhm.
for sure. Well, thank you for that affirmation, sissy. And it's now time for It's Give and Grow. So the first segment, well, part of the segment, I titled it Soft Girl Season Loading, just because I want to see what slowing down really looks like for us. How do we perceive that? What do we do? What changes do we make? How does it feel? So, and that's for me, I also feel like that's a very big question as well. Like, what does slowing down look like for us? Because I have a hard time slowing down. And I know you tend to as well.
Yeah.
What do you feel or what do you think that looks like for you?
It's interesting because I think um, I'm being forced to slow down right now in terms of not um, hustling and grinding at my job and doing that type of thing. Like I'm still doing work, but in a different way and caring um, and having responsibilities, but in a very different way than the usual like hustle and grind of work and other responsibilities. So it's interesting. I feel like I'm being forced to slow down, and I've wanted to be able to be more present and be more rested and have more time to do things for myself. Um, but I think it's sometimes really uncomfortable. And I think for me, I feel like physically things have slowed down in a lot of ways, but spiritually and emotionally, it feels like the slowing down has created like all of this reckoning within myself, all of this things being triggered within me, and really having to sit with myself and the things I like and about myself and things I really don't, and just all of this unearthing and being cracked open in all of these crazy ways is what slowing down has looked like. And it doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel pretty and Instagram worthy and all of the things. It just feels very
Right.
uncomfortable. And maybe some of it is because while I am getting to slow down in some ways, there is a lot of things happening that are constantly unsettling my nervous system. And so I'm not actually resting. Um, I was committed to being a well rested Black woman, and I still am. But I won't lie, it's been very difficult. I'm probably clocking 4 to 5 hours every night of sleep for the last month and a half, and that's uh, it starts to take a toll on you. So I don't know. Uh, yeah, it's hard to really think about slowing down in like a healing way right now, even though it is kind of happening because I'm kind of being forced to just be slower and present and take my time with things. But it's not quite in the way that I would have imagined, like, living a soft girl life. Yeah, at all. So I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough question. And I think I find moments where you like, I get to journal and sit in the sun, and those moments are really precious. But yeah, when I think about what slowing down has really looked like for me right now, it's been extremely uncomfortable because it's just been such an emotional, like it's really forced me to sit with some emotions and some triggers and some things in a really, really wild way. Yeah.
It's interesting because, like, obviously, we've had our outside conversations, but when I look at you and, like, just know with everything that you're dealing with and everything you've told me, I can almost see you in, like, a tornado. And literally, like, you're in this headspin, you're just watching everything chaotic and just raw, and everything's circling around you and going really, really, really fast, and everything's happening at a fast pace. But then you're literally in the center of it all. You're in the center of your own tornado. It's almost like you're a cocoon in the middle because you're watching everything happen. You're present in what's happening, but you're also watching it all fall in this.
Mhm.
So, like, while everything may be chaotic around you and going really, really fast and crazy, you're just kind of in the center of it, and you don't have any other option but to just stand there and wait and watch the storm go around you. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. I feel like I was rambling, but it made sense when I thought about it in my mind.
No, no, it does. Like I am, and I a side effect of my depression is my emotional scape isn't always very high and very low. So sometimes I seem calm a lot of the times. And, yeah, when there is like a lot happening around me, and it does feel kind of, yeah, like being in the eye of the storm, like where it is calm, but it's just, cause that's all I can do, right? I
Can't
have,
control it.
yeah, I'm in complete surrender mode. Like I've never had this surrender to life. Let me not lie, but this is another time in my life where I've just really had to completely surrender and be like, God, ancestors, I can't force nothing, because it shit is happening, and I have absolutely no control over a lot of things. Yeah.
Um, I guess for me, my answer with what slowing down really looks like for me in a sense, it's interesting because I don't know what slowing down looks like. Like I've always been on go, 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 hustle, 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 move, move, move. Like, and watching my mom growing up, she was always on the go. Like I never just seen her like just stop and pause and breathe in a sense. And but it's funny now because I do watch my dad, and he, in a sense, like he is slowing down and pausing and taking those breaths, like the precious days by day. Like he appreciates every single day that he wakes up and he breathes, and he's learned to slow down and appreciate it. So it's interesting now because growing up, I watched my mom who was always on the go versus my dad who now is able to slow down. So for me, I'm like, well, what does slowing down for me consist of? What does that look like? And I guess I'm unsure with that response just because I'm still in the momentum of go, 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 like with working and bills and gas and this and that. You always have something. It's like, okay, you pay one bill, but you think about the next bill that you got to pay. Okay, you need your car note, but when's the next car note coming up? Like, you got to start saving for that. Like, you have to just prepare after you knock something down versus just like, look at me. I paid my car note, celebrate that moment. Like it's always on the go. So I guess I'm trying to learn how to celebrate the singular moments versus always be like, okay, what's next? What's next? Got to keep moving. What's on the go? What am I doing next? Um. So yeah, I guess that's my response for what slowing down looks like for me. I feel like it's just different because I'm trying to be better with journaling. I'm trying to be better with yoga in a sense. Like, I mean, I'm trying to like wake up in the mornings and do, even if it's 5 minutes, like
Mhm.
in a chair, like I'm trying to
Mhm.
incorporate that even at work. So I'm one of the first people at my job. So it's literally just me and my other coworkers. So we're trying to do like chair yoga for like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, but just slowing down and being present and enjoying the mind space to just chill out because our brains don't know how to chill out in a sense.
They don't. And there's so much power in just like being able to stop for a minute and take a deep breath. Like I think we underestimate how beautiful that is and how powerful that is, that we can just, you can pause for 10 seconds. It doesn't even have to be that long, and just
Yeah,
breathe.
just
Or look
and
at a
like
flower or sit in like, yeah, just
in the sun, like
the
basking in the
little
sun.
thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even like I guess for me, like a moment of slowing down is just and being present, just being happy with the fact like I am allowed, like I can call my dad on my lunch breaks every day at work. I go outside, I stand in the sun, and I just talk to my dad for 30 minutes. That's slowing down in a sense. And
Mhm.
that's beautiful because there was a
Mhm.
time I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so just being able to take that little 30-minute moment and just talk to my dad and speak to him and laugh and get his thoughts and opinions on life and whatever we're talking about that day. It's beautiful. It's great. Like those are the little moments and little things like that's slowing down, looking at a sunflower, looking at a ladybug, which my mom comes to visit me as a ladybug. So whenever she goes, I'm like, hey, it's my mom. Those are beautiful moments.
Yeah. 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 Finding those beautiful moments.
For sure.
Actually, Shay.
Yes, yes. Well, so the second piece to that section for our soft girl season loading, I wanted to see so how do we nurture ourselves when the days get shorter? Basically, dealing with seasonal and regular depression. What are some tools or some guides that you tend to lean on when you feel those intensified days?
Yeah. I think it's hard because for me, depression is not seasonal. It is pretty much like a everyday thing.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I think lately I've been trying to like remember the things that anchor me and the things that help me be present and here, because so often I don't want to be here, and so I think that the ways that I nurture myself is like finding the little things that remind me to be here, is like taking time to sip my tea and um sitting in the sun, doing my yoga, journaling. um yeah, I think, sorry, there's the dogs is they got something to say.
Is there time?
But yeah, I have to think on this a little more.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah, cause yeah, I think I do notice like my depression does get not worse, but I do have more bad days in the winter than in the summer. But it's still like that because I feel like depression is so often my baseline. Um, Figuring out how to truly like nurture myself in that real way, I think is something I'm still kind of unlocking and unearthing. I know we talked earlier and how I was feeling like um I haven't done things on like that soul level, right? I haven't done those things to nurture myself on a soul level. So much of it has been surface level, which is important, because we're physical beings. So you have to do stuff on the surface level. But I think because I have been depressed since I was about probably 5 or 6 years old, thinking about what it means to nurture myself is like, yeah, looking at that question. I think before I would have had like a very like, I do yoga and I drink water and I do this and I do that. And that would have been like my answer, honestly. But in like really thinking about it is like, how do I nurture myself as someone who has been depressed her whole life and most days doesn't want to be here. And most people don't. It's hard for a lot of people to understand or even relate to that.
Mhm.
Um, and things that like should bring me joy and should make me happy, I'm just experiencing. I'm not actually feeling the joy and the happiness and all of that. So I don't know. I have to think on that question. I can't give a prescriptive answer. Sorry.
Okay. It's- And there's no wrong answer. That's what you're feeling, and that's your truth, and that's why we are here because this is to say that. So you say how you need to feel, and there's no wrong answer. Uh, I feel like for me, because although I do deal with depression, I don't deal with it on the level that you do. For me, I feel it's like it is more of a seasonal depression. I tend to notice like as the days get shorter and darker, I'm like, all right, it's time to jump in bed at 4 o'clock and call it a day and no talking, just silence, like in the zone, sleep. But then I also start to feel like the sadness, the wave of sadness, like, well, what have you really done with your life? How far are you? Are you really achieving goals? What are you doing? You're this old and you haven't done as much in your life that you feel like all the negative thoughts start attacking, right? Um, and I feel for me because dealing with low self-esteem that I've always dealt with since I was, I wouldn't say a child, but I would say like into my teens when I became aware that, oh, people have thoughts and opinions on me and they are also allowed to speak on them. um, my my self-esteem has always just been very low. Um, all the negative thoughts and stuff tend to come out, especially during the colder seasons, the darker seasons. Um, I do feel what I'm attempting to do with nurturing myself. And it's funny because me and my dad were talking today about this, and he gave me a quote, and he was supposed to text it to me, but he forgot. So I'm calling him out. But it was something in the sense of don't block your blessings because you never know when they're going to arrive. And it was in um, context of I was telling him how I was excited that we're recording today because, we took a little mini side break, but I was very excited to record again. And he was like, yeah, and depending on who this reaches, you guys will get sponsored. Like he's already thinking big for us. I was like, yeah, we're just doing this for fun, so whatever comes of it. He's like, no. He's like, don't block your blessings because you don't know what's going to come from this. Like, we don't know who we're going to reach. We don't know who's going to pick up and listen and decide, you know what? I like these two Black girls. I'm going to sponsor them because they are speaking some realness from their heart.
Yeah.
And I really had to think about it. I was like, he's right. Like, I tend to block my blessings and future blessings with negative thoughts. And again, that's a tool that you have to learn to turn off as well because the soul doesn't know when you're telling jokes about yourself. The soul and mind and spirit doesn't know when you're making a joke, but you're actually dissing yourself because now it's, oh, so we really feel this way. But you were just kidding, or at least you thought you were kidding, but you weren't. You're speaking your truth and trying to phrase it as a joke. So I totally just went on a tangent, but I feel like for me, some of the things that I am working on doing is just being better about speaking out loud and speaking in general, just like publicly, being better and kinder to myself. And I know your answers, they're kind of my answers too, even though you said they're what you would have probably said like last month if you would have had these questions. But for me, I think journaling is a way of self-expression for me and just releasing. And you are you're much better at it than I am, but I would like to be better at it. So for me, I'm like, okay, that's a goal. I'm going to start journaling again. I'm going to get back into my yoga. And that's the cool part is everything is again. You can start over whenever. It's been years since I've done yoga consistently. Because I think I started really doing yoga consistently back in 2020. And then when I got back into workforce, I stopped. So, but the cool thing is like you can start over again whenever. You can start at what time frame. It don't matter whenever I feel I'm ready. So I think just getting back into the program of journaling, yoga. I'm trying to drink more teas versus coffee because I am a coffee girl. I love my coffee, but I'm starting to notice that because I drink coffee so much that it doesn't have an effect on me anymore. So it's like, well, what's the point of drinking coffee if there's no effect?
Right. It's not doing yeah.
So I'm trying to drink more teas and healthy teas because there are also teas that are just full of sugars and just trying to be more conscious about what I'm putting into myself. And I feel like this time around, because I have done this go to many a times, but I feel this time it's different because I'm in the headspace that I'm ready to actually put forth and make the change
Mm-hmm.
and at least give it a good try.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I that was a very long and winded response, but those are some of the things I like to think I do when the darker days are upon us and my seasonal depression is kicking my behind because it's a bitch to be depressed. It really is. Um, and I know you tend to live in that state of sadness, but I do want to say, um, I'm proud of you for always, you've never hidden it, at least once. Okay, you've never hidden it, but once I became aware and like really like we've had deep conversations, I was able to understand where you're coming from. And I never judged you. And when I was younger, I was scared because I was like, "Oh my gosh, my friend, she's not in a good place, and I never want my people to not be happy." But you have to understand, people are not. I had to come to the conclusion, people are not me, and that's okay. Like you are able to live your truth, and I accept that. But like I said, I'm proud of you for speaking and being an advocate for mental health because it matters, and everything's not always sunshine and rainbows. And you've never shied away from it and you're like, no, this is my truth. Yeah, I'm a sad girl and I'm sad 97% of the time. But when you have your moments, you are attempting your best to be present for them. So I'm just proud of you for always speaking your truth, no matter how scary it may seem to me or the world, because there are people out there that are like you and they're like, she gets me, she understands.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's important to talk about because, um, yeah, like I said, I've been depressed since I was 6, and I don't think that my parents had a context for like what childhood depression
Oh,
even
yeah. There was none.
means, right? And so people were just like, she cries all the time and she's just sad and withdrawn and doesn't want to be here. And I think for a long time, I was made to feel like something was wrong with me for not wanting to be here so often. And I was journaling the other day because also my depression with experience or my experience with depression is unique to me, right? Because I have a lot of friends who are depressed all the time. And we probably should put a trigger warning on this episode. But
Yep.
I have a lot of friends who are depressed all the time and who have attempted to take their lives and have had multiple suicide attempts and all of those things. And I was journaling the other day because I was like, I've had this sadness in me for as long as I can remember. I've had this feeling of not wanting to be here, not wanting to be, when I say not wanting to be here, I mean not wanting to be alive for like as long as I can remember. And I've plotted and planned all of the ways that I could no longer be here. But there is like, I think what makes my experience unique, or maybe someone can relate, is that there is an anchor that keeps me here. I don't know what it is. And I feel like maybe this season is exploring that deeper, but there is something that like keeps me from being able to physically cause harm to myself. And I've always, yeah, I was reflecting on that. I was like, because I've thought about all the ways, and I've had the thoughts and the means and all of the things. And I'm in therapy, y'all, so don't.
Every,
This is not a cry for help. This is an expression of of my life and my experience. But yeah, I was like, there is something that anchors me here, and I'm interested to explore that deeper because when I say, I'm like, it is a miracle that I'm here because I prayed. I used to pray sometimes that like I wouldn't wake up and be here because that's just how sad I am sometimes. And so yeah, I'm glad I'm able to share. Um I hope people can relate. And if not, that's okay too, because this is just my experience and my reality. And yeah, it's hard. And it's also something too that I think as a society sometimes is hard for people to accept, you
Mhm.
know, because if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you don't fit into the quote unquote normal way of functioning, then something is wrong with you. And then sometimes if you do talk about it too much, then you're just seeking attention or whatever. I don't know. People say all types of crazy things. So I think it is important to be able to have open, honest conversations about it. I think it's important to understand the nuances. For me, it's like understanding that one, it is like there's like an actual chemical imbalance in my brain, but then two, there's also like all of these spiritual and other levels and elements to it, right? My mom always used to say, like, you came into this world with so much shit that wasn't yours. And when I learned that like baby girls have, or people who are assigned female at birth have their ovaries inside of them already. So you were already inside your great grandma and your grandma, so on and so forth,
Yeah.
right? So you were feeling and experiencing
Their
everything
trauma. Well,
already, and that is all passed down to us. And so when my mom was always like, "You just came into this world so sad with shit that clearly wasn't mine," and I feel that sometimes. Like I feel like this, I guess, ancestral sadness is the way to describe it. And really, it's so painful and so hurtful sometimes that it makes me really just not want to be here. And I think sometimes I have to filter through like, is this my thought? Is this a thought that came from somewhere else? Like, where does this shit come from? But yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to have conversations about our mental health. I think it's important to find places where we feel safe and comfortable talking about it with people who listen and don't kind of try and dismiss or diminish how you're feeling. I think that's important. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm grateful. I didn't expect to to talk about that.
I know we went real deep, y'all.
I was like, that's not the conversation I was trying to have right now. But hey, that's the conversation that's being had.
It's what needed to be out, I guess.
Um,
But
but yeah,
I was just
okay.
gonna say, I appreciate your vulnerability. Vulnerability. I can't say the word. Please say it for me.
Vulnerability.
Thank you. I appreciate that because it's real, it's raw, and it's honest, and it's authentically you.
Yeah. And joy is hard for me, right? I feel like I have to perform joy a lot because I don't actually feel happy, right? So I have to perform like, cause I'm like, you can't be sad all the time because that's, you don't want sadness all the time. So it's like when you're in a joyful moment, but you're not feeling joy, I always have felt pressure to perform joy anyway. And that's tiring. It's tiring masking and performing all the time. And yeah.
I feel it. I feel it. Well, all right. We are gonna move it on to something a little bit more light and fun. It's time to go to Sis Remember When, that 90s throwback. And I just want to see, did you have any like favorite cozy fall time, like foods, traditions from back in the day, like, Halloween status? Is there something that you just always had to do during the fall seasons? Is there something that you always have to like drink or eat that just puts you back in that cozy time frame?
Um, I remember drinking a lot of cider growing up in the
Like a
fall. Like,
apple cider.
like apple cider and caramel apples. I feel like that, like apples are just very like reminiscent of fall for me.
Yeah,
Um, my parents owned a theater company, so we did like a haunted house every year, and
those are the best.
that was like something I remember. Um, yeah, my parents are witches, so they're big on Halloween and spooky season, and all of like the years, like when I feel like they came to life. So I have a lot of memories of a lot of witchy things during the fall season. Um, yeah, that's about it. Cider, Halloween, and witchy things.
Feel it. For me, I definitely feel like a fall time tradition. It's not necessarily like food wise, but I have to, even now, I have to watch Hocus Pocus because as a kid,
Mhm,
that was my
mhm,
movie. So I
mhm.
still do that on to this day. And then along came Twitches, the other movie with Tia and Tamara Mowry, because they were twin witches. So of course, those two movies I definitely will watch in October during the fall. That's my movie tradition. I don't really have like a food per se. I will say like I do tend to eat a lot of popcorn.
Mhm,
Um, yeah, apple cider is a good one, like you said. Definitely a throwback. But yeah, my two movies are definitely Hocus Pocus and Twitches. I have to watch them in October. It's my
yeah.
thing.
I love Hocus Pocus. We watched The Addams Family too. That was like The Addams Family Values was a big one.
Yep.
And Practical Magic, I watched me and my sister watched that the other day and we're like, "Oh yeah, that's our shit too."
I've never seen it.
It's just a white witchy movie.
No, but I've heard good things. I've never. Maybe one day I'll give it a try. Mm-mm. All right. So now it's time to go into the glow tip of the week. And I feel like this tip is a good tip for us in general, but to carry on because the tip is take time to rest without guilt. Because I know I feel very guilty anytime I try to rest. Um, if I try to take time off, you've seen me. You've seen me in action just trying to take a day off. It doesn't go over well because I feel like how dare I take a day off from work even though I'm sick? Like,
At
no, I have to
the
go to
jobs
work.
that don't care about you.
Or a snowstorm. No, I'll make it. Just give me 3 hours. Oh, but I'll be there. No, no. Why? Why do I feel so guilty taking any type of time off, vacation, rest? So I really, when I do take vacations, I try my hardest to put work out of my mind because it's so hard to not think about it.
Mhm,
Um, so I feel like that was a good tip, just taking time to rest without guilt, because that's something that I definitely struggle with.
mhm. Yes, I feel that. I definitely I can relate, um, to feeling like anytime I was resting, feeling like I was being unproductive and all of that bullshit. Um, but I think in the past 2 years, really 3 years, I think when I got really burnt out and hit a wall and, like, felt like my body was shutting down, I was like, "I'm not gonna feel guilty about resting." As I've just learned more about resting and the importance of rest and all of that from the nap ministry and all types of other people, just like how this system profits off of us feeling guilty for resting. And who
Yeah.
is that who is that benefiting? That's not benefiting me, right? If I'm grinding and working crazy and moving my body to the brink, like that's not benefiting me. Yeah. So I rest. And I do still feel guilty sometimes, but I think I'm learning to let that go.
Let it go.
Yeah, and especially our ancestors, right? Their bodies were used for labor and they could not rest.
Yeah.
So, well, when I say our ancestors, I mean people who are the descendants of folks who went through chattel slavery in North America and the rest of the world. Um, That's who I'm talking about. But yeah, our ancestors could not rest, and there's lots of other people's ancestors who couldn't rest too. So rest for your ancestors who could
Heard it
not.
here, folks.
Who,
Take
who
that time to
literally,
rest without guilt because that job does not care about us.
it doesn't. It just cares about your body and how productive you can be and what you're able to produce. And we see it
Because if,
now. It doesn't matter how much you work, you still can get fired from your good government job. So
and if you die one day, they are replacing you the next.
Yeah, yeah. You're at will employees.
So no love lost, no rest left. Take it all that you need. Take your vacation time, take your PTO time, take your sick time, which I don't even get. So enjoy your freaking PTO and just rest.
That's crazy to me. Like, because that's how it was at my last school. At my other schools, like we had sick, we had PTO, and then like a bunch of other stuff. But most recently, it was all lumped into one.
Yeah.
And it's like, why am I sick? Being sick is not personal time off.
Yeah.
I am sick. You don't want me there.
It's wild. Like I caught COVID for the first time last year and it wiped out my entire PTO. I was like, that wasn't even my fault. Like, what?
And COVID is something you have no control over. Like, it's a pandemic. What?
So yeah, take that time to rest, guys. It's needed.
Yes. Well, we took a hiatus for a little bit. Um, and I want to say we'll be back.
Let's not put a time frame on ourselves for right now.
It's my fault, y'all, but I just got a lot going on in life right now. And
And it's understandable.
yeah.
So, but for all the people that were looking out for us and missing our podcast, because I had a couple of people come up to me, they're like, "Where's the podcast?" I appreciate you. Thank you. You guys, we're recording it now, so you know we're coming back. But if another break is needed, I will definitely be better about just spreading the information that we will be back. Just, you know, had a little take a little break, so because they're needed.
You have to rest without guilt.
No worries. Ugh, well, I love you, sister.
Love you too.
It's been great seeing your face and having our little chit chats. They always do something for my soul and heal me in ways that I didn't know I need. All right, guys. Well, that's our show for today. Please rate and review our podcast.
And until next time, keep healing,
Keep growing
keep glowing.
and keep loving yourselves out loud. A long day, guys. Don't judge me.
All right, bye.
Love you guys.